Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode we're going to be covering the Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style. Now this is my first video of 2020, so if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit like if you like this video. Please feel free to hit dislike if you don't like this video. It really does help let me narrow down exactly what I'm doing, but also provide some constructive feedback in the comments below if you have some comments you want to give me. But anyway, let's check out this whiskey and see why I bought this one of all the whiskies I could have bought. Glassware today is British Bourbon Society, and it's a big shout out to them. If you're on Facebook and you like your bourbon, you don't just have to be in Britain either. If you're really interested in seeing what we think about kind of bourbon in Britain, you can go and check them out. Request to join, really good place. I went to the they call it the Bastards Ball, the Whiskey Tribe Ball in October. And I'm a member of the British Bourbon Society, and when I got in touch with those on Facebook, just chucked it out there to the community, I want to bring back maybe 2 or 3 bottles maximum. It's definitely over the limit, but if I'm going to pay taxes or whatever fees, custom charges, I want these bottles to be perfect. They've got to be good. I don't want to just chuck my money at any old thing. And I've got a lot of different comments, but overwhelmingly, people are like, if this is your first time going to the US and buying bourbon and bringing it back, you need to get the Old Forester 1920. We can't really get this in the UK. It is available, but you have to pay massively inflated prices. I got this for about $50 after tax in one of the big, huge liquor stores in Texas. And again, a plus point for us in the UK, this is a 750ml bottle, which we don't really get. We just get like normal 700, I say normal for us, 700ml bottles, which is a bit unfortunate. But this is an absolute monster. It's 57.5% or 115 proof, as you guys over the pond would call it. Let's talk a little bit about this, because we do get Old Forester over here, but just not this version. This particular one is designed to kind of imbue the style of whiskey that was created almost 100 years ago during Prohibition. So, 2020, 1920, it's almost like I planned it, right? But Old Forester was one of a handful of distilleries, I think maybe 6 distilleries, that weren't closed down during Prohibition. They had to make whiskey for medicinal purposes, whatever that meant, chin and all that lot. But they had this kind of rule where it had to be bottled at 100 proof, 50% ABV. But to not waste too much water, add water to good whiskey and things like that, they were chucking the new make spirit into the barrels, into the casks at 100 proof, to make sure that it didn't go below that. Because in Kentucky, backtrack a little bit, but in Scotland, for instance, the angel share means that the ABV goes down because water evaporates. Something crazy happens in Kentucky, something to do with the climate, the fact that they stack their barrels up in these rick houses that are massively tall. In Scotland, we tend to stick our casks in warehouses that only go up a few stories, if that, and sometimes they even go underground, in kind of temperature controlled, naturally temperature controlled warehouses and stuff like dunnage warehouses. But these rick houses just go up and up and up, which is probably why we've seen a lot of them collapsing in the last couple of years. They're very wooden. A strong gust, I guess, takes these things down. I don't know. Moving on from stuff that I don't know about. Anyway, so the proof actually goes up to about 115, give or take, barrel to barrel. So they bottle this at 115 proof to kind of give that vibe away. Don't know much about age. Minimum 4 years because it's a Kentucky straight bourbon. It's probably a bit more than that. Look at the colour on this thing. It's absolutely incredible. In terms of mash bill, again, they don't tell us that, but there is a lot of Brown-Forman products out there, so we can assume it's kind of the same one, and their general mash bill is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. No reason to assume this is any different, but it could be. Let's get onto the nose and see what we've got. Now, if I didn't know, or at least have a guess about the mash bill, I would say there's at least some rye in this for sure, because you're getting those kind of rye spicy notes to it. But really, the overarching smell is dark fruits and cherries for sure. It just reeks of the stuff. Obviously, you're getting the kind of vanillas that you would get from a lot of bourbons. We talk about tannins a lot as well. Very tannic. So we're talking kind of a leathery, oaky vibe to it as well. So, which leads me to believe it's probably been in a barrel a little bit longer than the 4 years. Probably not a hell of a lot longer. You know, it doesn't pay to keep bourbon aging for too long. Because, correct me if I'm wrong again, but I think you guys over there get a tax for the age of the barrel. So it just keeps going on and on and on. Like, it's not like in the UK we pay tax based on the spirit that comes off of a still. So we have these spirit safes, and the literage that comes off of that, that's what you pay tax on, not at the other end. So I don't know all the rules about American bourbon for sure, so please do fill me in if you do know. But I'm pretty sure that there's a kind of year-on-year tax, so it becomes less and less and less viable to age bourbon, and that's why we see things that are a little bit younger maybe. Maybe also you get a massively over-oaked flavour sometimes. I've tried some 17-year-old bourbon, some 24-year-old bourbon, and there's not much difference between the two, I have to admit. Let's try on the palate. Now, straight away, the high corn on it keeps it relatively smooth on the palate, for want of a better word. But that kind of high ABV mixed in with the little bit of rye that's in there really does give this explosion of rye spices. It's very sweet to start with, and it actually kind of does this kind of weird flow like this. So initially, drink, you're going to get like a burst of kind of fruity berries, those fruits that we were talking about earlier, those cherries and dark fruits. Burst of that. Then that kind of dips away. The rye spices come in, they take over. And when that sort of subsides a little bit more of those fruity elements have come through. Kind of back end of those cherries. I wanted to say a bit of marzipan, but I don't think that's true. I think that's just me thinking marzipan. I do think marzipan an awful lot, but if you get marzipan on this, let me know. But it's just such a bold flavour, and that's what I absolutely love about it. Definitely one that I'm so glad I picked up. Dare I say, I'll probably pick it up again. But I have to say, if I did go to the States again, based on the fact that I make this channel, I would have to buy something different just for variety. But if I were merely a consumer, this would be the only bourbon I would need to drink for the rest of the time, I should imagine. It's so good. I have to say, I wonder where I can go from here. I'm sure there are better bourbons out there for sure, depending on how much money you want to throw around. But for that kind of $50, that £50 mark, I wonder if you can do better. And that'll be my challenge to you guys, is to let me know. It doesn't matter where you are. If I can get hold of it or not, I don't care. What you think is better than this for that money. That's the easy way to say it. I don't want to hear about stuff that's $100 because that's twice this. Maybe I got it on a deal. Who knows? I did hear somewhere that it might have been about $50, $60, $65, but I got it on a sticker price for just shy of $50 with the tax included. Crazy situation. But there you go. That's the Old Forester 1920s. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, because I love this stuff. This is going to go in my special cabinet because I can't get this really in the UK, as I said earlier. So this is probably going to last me forever. You might even see it on my 2021 collection video. We shall see.